'Twas the night before Congress, with Santa awake, planning a scheme for his bailout take. The elves were all panicked from weeks without pay, and Rudolph had flown off to sell off the sleigh. The reindeer were frightened to not have a sled, and mistakenly thought that old Rudolph had fled. Mrs. Claus, she was miffed with few presents to wrap, and worried of China and the growing trade gap. Santa came in and asked, "Dear, what's the matter? But we're so short on food and you're not getting fatter." "Oh, Santa," he laughed as he threw up the sash, "just pull out your Visa and advance us some cash." Mrs. Claus shook her head and said, "Oh my, don't you know? Our cards were revoked and our cash flow is slow." Basically, Santa, we're well in arrears. You might want to think of some different career. Well, just then old Santa, he had to think quick. Congress wants plans and I just have my shtick. But if I show them my plan, they'll make me explain. "You give away presents? No profits? Insane! Hey Dasher, hey Dancer, hey Prancer and Vixen, hey Comet, hey Cupid, hey Donder and Blitzen, come here with the elves and give Rudolph a call. I might have a plan, but I need you all. We don't need the Congress to make Christmas fly. It's all about Christmas, demand and supply. Elves, how many toys were you able to do?" 35,003,002? Well, technically that number is just not enough. But what if we do all that magical stuff? Of course, Santa's magic is world-renowned, and the elves and the reindeer could help it compound. So all of them visualized massive output, and Santa Claus hummed and he tapped with his foot. Then they looked at the toys and were taken aback. "Good grief," said the elves, "now we'll have to repack." Santa's eyes, how they twinkled, and his dimples were merry. He said, "Christmas is fun, it's not meant to be scary." Then the reindeer took off with the toys all in tow, and they flew through the sky, and they flew through the snow. "Hooray for our Santa!" cheered the elves with a shriek, and Santa Claus wiped a small tear from his cheek. Then his face, it grew fatter, and so did his belly, and now when he laughed, he shook just like jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf. Yep, Santa was back to his whole Christmas self. You know that wink of his eye and that twist of his head that lets us all know we have nothing to dread. He spoke not a word and he went straight to work. No bailouts needed, no government perks. That Santa, he worked so fast one might suppose to Congress it seemed he was thumbing his nose. And his team flew away like the down of a thistle, and then he exclaimed as he drove out of sight, "Christmas is here, it will all be all right."